The Electoral Commission will from this morning resume the re-registration of persons whose names were deleted from the voters' register following a Supreme Court order. The program will be running till the next Friday, that is August 12, 2016. Only 24,000 of those deleted re-registered in the initial exercise out of a total of, we're told, according to the Electoral Commission, some 56,000. The opposition MPP had earlier threatened a lawsuit if the Electoral Commission failed to conduct a mop-up exercise to allow more persons whose names were deleted to re-register. The EC, as a result, says after an IPAC meeting on Wednesday, it's announced the extension of the re-registration exercise. Here is Head of Communications for the Commission, Eric Kofi Jakpasu.
Upon discussion with the members of the IPAC, some decisions have been taken. On the issue of the NHIS registrants, it has been decided unanimously that there should be a mop-up of those who couldn't register during the first major exercise, and that is to begin from the 5th of August up to the 12th of August. Then, for the continuous voters registration, the technical committee decided that we should have 2 days in August to give the opportunity to all persons who have not been able to register from 2012 to date to do so. And that will also start on the 19th of August. Then the second will be on the 26th of August.
Well, the Head of Communications for the Electoral Commission, and we know that the Electoral Commission is expected to prepare the grounds for the political parties to be very much active and ultimately participate in the general elections. We know the general elections will take place on December 7. And the race is heating up. A lot more of the political parties are busy. The PPP is the latest. And this time, from beauty to political activist and now full-time politician, former Miss Ghana Bridget Jogbanuku has been named the running mate for the flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Dr. Papakwesi Indom. And it's all for this year's general elections. Addressing a gathering of party members to announce his decision, Dr. Papakwesi Indom said his choice was informed by the party's principle of all-inclusiveness and his firm belief in the competence of Ms. Jogbanuku. Joy News' Joseph Akable was at the event and has filed his reports.
That was the Bobobo sound ushering in the announcement by the PPP flag bearer of his choice of a running mate. The event was attended by parliamentary candidates and national executives of the party. Addressing the gathering, Dr. Indom said he settled on Bridget Jogbanuku due to her experience, which he believes will be crucial in fulfilling the promise of creating jobs if he wins the December polls.
We have brought somebody to add to our principle of inclusiveness, that we have said that we want to encourage the young men and women, and we are doing both this morning. We have also said that we stand for jobs, 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 and you will understand why we have made this choice. Because the person I am introducing has gotten experience of doing at the grassroots level, and it will become abundantly clear to you as we move on in the weeks ahead.
In her acceptance speech, Mrs. Jogbanuku said the PPP represents a change from the failures of previous government.
PP wants those who want things done right. Those of us who are saying enough is enough and we need a change. No one will bring us the change if we don't effect it ourselves. We have tried both the NPP and the NDC. I have been a voter since 1992. And indeed, in one way or other, I have contributed to bringing each of these two parties to power. Today, we are caught between a rock and a hard place, between the devil and the deep blue sea. It is our choice to remain swinging between these two self-interest parties and getting the same backward results. It is time to try something different. I have chosen what the Progressive People's Party wants to do in its 10-point agenda, and it aligns exclusively with the Ghana I also want. I choose PPP. I vote PPP. And I'm with Papa Kwesi Ndom Ejumara.
The vice presidential candidate is expected to join the presidential candidates on the campaign trail in the coming days. Joseph Akable reports in for Joy News.
And while the call for public funding for political parties was at the center of debate at a forum organized by the Institute of Economic Affairs on Thursday, senior political analysts pointed out that the current lack of funding had weakened Ghana's political party structures and also resulted in equally weakening political leaders. Jennifer Ikriamwa was there and has filed this report.
Speaking at the forum, a senior lecturer at the Department of Political Science, Dr. Ransford Jampo, said political parties are not only mandated to garner votes during an election year, but to develop leadership qualities of their members. He added, although public funding will be expensive to implement, the long-term costs of not funding political parties far outweighs this.
The cost of what will happen if there is chaos, if there is democratic relapse, if there is war and confusion, it's more than what we're talking about. And so if the state really wants to do it, okay, they'll be able to afford.
Former minister in the Kufuor administration, Hackman Owusu-Agyemang, agrees with this assertion, saying his party has also experienced challenges from the lack of funding as recently as the EC re-registration and voters exhibition exercise.
We were not able to monitor the ongoing exercises, both ourselves and the NDC and most of the parties, because there are no funding. If you take somebody to be there from 7 in the morning to finish at 5, a minimum that you can give is about 10 cedis or at least lunch. If you don't have money to provide lunch, then you don't have anybody superintending and monitoring the operation. At the end of the day, what you get is what the Electoral Commission gives you.
The conversation about the need for state funding of political parties has meanwhile already started in Parliament. The majority and minority leaders earlier in the year called for more dialogue on the matter, describing it as a way to curb corruption. Joy News, Jennifer Kwamwa.
A report by the National Media Commission has cited media organizations in the Ashanti region for doing little in the coverage of election as well as women's issues. Well, the Commission says though political discussions dominated the airwaves, they are reduced to MPP and NDC issues which fuel a sense of conflict. The report was adored at a media interaction in Kumasi, the Ashanti regional capital, on Thursday.
The study, which took place between January and July, scored local media 7% on women issues and 3% on electoral matters. Ashanti media were also found to have performed poorly in covering regions other than their own. While Ashanti and Greater Accra region enjoyed 62% and 33% coverage respectively, others were virtually ignored. The Commission is unhappy about the trend, as echoed by the Executive Secretary, George Sapon.
Sad reality that instead of people being shamed by the courage of hate speech, they rather feel emboldened because they then feel that they are the ones who bear scars for political parties. In the previous election, we saw that instead of people changing their behavior by the data, they carried these reports around to show that, yes, we are the ones who are able to carry the fight to the other party. And so what we had done hoping to reduce the hate speech was rather what was encouraging and fueling it. So we are still going through a lot of reflection.
NMC Chairman Kwesi Pinton described some measures to remedy the situation.
We must bring people down to their manifesto. Now, we haven't seen any manifesto because we don't know about manifesto. We must try and bring our leaders, our political parties, to their manifesto. So that if we are saying that they have done well, at the end of the day, we want to see the chart. We want to see what they have done in terms of what they promised the nation that they were going to do. So I think that our presenter will take note of that. We have been, our attention has been drawn.
We continue with our citizen journalist report under the Joy News and Star Ghana project. Well, the project, Poverty and Politics, looks at how a lot more people can contribute to their own development. And for this very morning, citizen journalist Fatar Haruna, a junior high school mathematics teacher, is reporting on the insanitary conditions at a slaughterhouse in his vicinity at Fumbisi in the Busa South district. The only abattoir in the community does not have storage facilities as well as power supply. Well, here is that very report from Fatar Haruna.
Fumbisi is the capital town of the Busa South district. The only slaughterhouse in the community is in a deplorable state. The old butchery has no storage facility and power supply. The building has been in existence for decades without repainting, with no proper water supply. The butchers incur an extra cost of paying people to get them water to wash the slaughtered animals. Agadiak Papa is a patron of the Fumbisi butchery. He is concerned about the insanitary condition at the abattoir.
But if you look at the ground, the place is dirty. There is no electricity, there is no fan. Those who are selling the meat, they are also complaining that they don't have enough deep freezers to store the meat so that we can get enough meat to buy. In fact, if maybe government or anybody, any organization can come into their aim, like providing them lights, maybe tiling the place, maybe the net is even old as you can see.
Daniel Asari is a butcher for 18 years. He is calling on government to help the butchers with a storage facility and electricity.
We just come to this, we heard that they put it in 1957, 2006, opened it 2008. We have managed to kill the animals for the old room there, carry the meat to the new room. I want the public to hear that we know that any slaughter room, they have a light with a cool room, but now it is our constitution. We have been carrying the meat to our houses, put it on freezes. Some of the people, we don't know, some people they have been carrying that to the houses, then they will put it on the fridge. We don't know. That's why we are struggling to put light with the cool room for the slaughter room.
Esther Aswik is a patron of the slaughterhouse. She says even though the abattoir is not clean, she has no option.
Customer to buy the place. Okay, please. Here to buy meat. Okay, the place. It's nice, but the no fans. At least there should be fans here, and where they sell them, there should be like a net cover to the place. If not, you know, this weather that because of the lights, they should have been covering the meat for us to buy.
Suleiman Yusuf is a butcher. He is distraught about the inadequate water supply at the abattoir.
The last time I heard of them coming to do some renovation, but I didn't see anything. We have a problem with water, supply of water, so that we can always clean, wash the intestines and clean the room. I want to see if the authorities will come to our aid by giving us a slaughtering place. Where we are slaughtering is too close, it's even in the midst of the town, which is not the best. We have seen other places. The slaughtering is far away from where they sell them.
The insanitary conditions at the Fumbisi slaughterhouse poses a health risk to residents and the environment. Citizen journalist Haruna Fatau reporting with support from Star Ghana.
Swiss ambassador to Ghana, Gerhard Brugger, is urging Ghana to take a cue from how his country utilized public-private partnerships in turning around the fortunes of its railway sector. In an interview with Joy Business, Mr. Brugger said Ghana can learn a lot from Switzerland in the provision and maintenance of some basic infrastructural developments.
Out of a 947-kilometer stretch of railway, only 130 kilometers is operational for both freight and passenger services in Ghana. Government has therefore initiated plans to modernize the railway network by partnering private investors due to its economic benefits as a more efficient means of transport. The Swiss ambassador Gerhard Brugger says government can learn a lot from Switzerland in the provision and maintenance of such infrastructure.
It allows goods to be transported about half an hour faster than it used to be before. I think there is a lot of potential for public-private partnerships because the private sector really is the carrier of ideas. Because government, again, by definition, government should govern and government should not engage itself into running companies. Government doesn't have the management capabilities to run companies, but the private sector has. And involving the private sector really is a key to many solutions that are needed and that I also see as being important or becoming important for Ghana. So I absolutely salute the fact that public-private partnerships are initiatives that we are going to see more often and on a very balanced approach in Ghana.
Mr. Brugger, however, commended government for the strides made so far in the adoption of public-private partnership in other development projects.
The approval of John Otibles as Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, pending further deliberations. The Nkwanta North Member of Parliament is alleged to have described the Chief Justice in an audio report on a radio station as an agent of the MPP and unfit for the job.
Why? Meddling in the affairs of the Electoral Commission. Now you was a whole CJ. Mami will level be 1 year drui, who are nananum, who are ma. No to your politics, Supreme Court, no appointing judge, no your politics, no new politician, no ruling.
You have a CJ who at her age with grandchildren and children engages in politics. She appointed judges to the Supreme Court who are involved in politics, and she engages in shady deals with politicians. Are you not calling for war when you fictitiously rule against the Electoral Commission for the elections not to come off? We have to keep an eye on the CJ. There's a worker at the Supreme Court who is at loggerheads with her because of her partisanship. In an attempt last year to distract the lead counsel for President Mahama, they plotted to kidnap his child.
The lead counsel for President Mahama, Ayatollah Lita. Kidnapping the back. Using a driver. So kidnapping Tony Lita in the back. Send a buyer ever taking attention of the issue. Send a buyer on your stable.
And the content of that very audio is a reason why his nomination approval has been stalled or truncated by the Appointment Committee of Parliament as they presented the report to the Committee of the Whole. But already we have had the executive or former executive director for the West African Network for Peace Building, Dr. Emmanuel Bimbandi, having his nomination approved by Parliament to serve as Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs. So that'll be it for the news. As always, you want to get interactive, please make sure you do so on Facebook. We have Joy News on TV, and then we have our WhatsApp platform. 0560 is the number for you to reach us, and we'll read a couple of them to you very soon. Next, we have to look at what stories are our front, back page of the newspapers. Then we'll look at some online portals as well. We have to take a break. When we come back, those news stories. Do stay on.